These
What the was he doing?
are 20 0% sportsmanship moments in F1 history.
Oh, collision there, McLaren and that's Fisichella.
Number 20, 2005 Chinese GP. In spot 20, we've got a driver who really knows how to play the game, though the FIA caught onto his tricks. Back in the 2005 Chinese Grand Prix, Giancarlo Fisichella from Renault pulled a sneaky move during a safety car period. He backed off to leave a gap to his teammate Fernando Alonso, who was leading the race. That move obstructed the rest of the pack, giving Renault enough time to pit Alonso before Fisichella. But the FIA wasn't having any of that dirty play. They slapped the Italian with a drive-through penalty, and that's when they started keeping a closer eye on these kinds of moves. Number 19, 2010 German GP. Another team that knew how to play tricks with their drivers comes in at 19. It was Ferrari during the 2010 German Grand Prix. They kinda nudged Felipe Massa, who was leading the race, with a subtle, "Felipe, Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood the message?"
Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?
Massa let his teammate Fernando Alonso zip past, and Alonso snagged the win. But here's the kicker. Team orders were a no-go, according to the FIA back then. Ferrari got slapped with a $100,000 fine for breaking the rules. Do you reckon it was a smart move? Number 18, 2021 Emilia-Romagna GP. At 18, we see a move that wasn't the smartest. It was George Russell's and Valtteri Bottas during the 2021 Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Russell had been tailing Bottas for a while, and when he went for the overtake, things got messy. The Brit lost control, crashed into the Finn, and both went slamming into the wall.
What was he doing? Honestly.
After the crash, Russell walks up to Bottas and asks if he wants them both to bite the dust. Bottas responds with a not-so-friendly gesture. Result? Russell wraps it up by tapping Bottas's helmet and making a swift exit. Number 17, 2007 European GP. So, in number 17, we got more than just a race clash. There's a pre-podium showdown. Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso had this epic battle for the win at the 2007 European Grand Prix. Alonso ended up taking the win, but he wasn't exactly thrilled with Massa after a bit of contact during an overtake. Accusing the Brazilian on the cool-down room of giving him a nudge on purpose, it kicked off a not-so-friendly exchange of words between them. That podium could have turned into a heated mess that day. Number 16, 2009 Brazilian GP. So, there's this other track collision that turned into a post-show spectacle at number 16. Adrian Sutil and Jarno Trulli at the 2009 Brazilian Grand Prix. These two banged into each other right on the first lap, and things got so heated they were almost throwing punches. But wait, there's more. In the press conference of the next race, they kept the feud alive, pointing fingers and accusing each other, while everyone in the room just watched in disbelief. Yeah, they never really got over that episode. Number 15, 2006 European GP. Others who almost came to blows are the stars of the number 15 spot, Jacques Villeneuve and Giancarlo Fisichella. The Canadian got in Fisichella's way during his qualifying lap, and the Italian wasn't having it. He claimed that it ruined his Grand Prix. After that, Fisichella marched over to Villeneuve's garage. Villeneuve was still sitting in his car, and Fisichella stood in front of it yelling something. Then he made a move like he was about to get even closer, pointing his finger at Villeneuve in a pretty intense way. Yeah, things got heated. Number 14, 2013 Malaysian GP. And if we have to talk about a heated matter, at 14 we can't ignore the Multi-21 episode at Red Bull during the 2013 Malaysian Grand Prix. Mark Webber was leading the race ahead of his teammate Sebastian Vettel, who was told not to attack him to secure a 1-2 finish for the team. But guess what? Vettel didn't follow the script. He ignored team orders, went for Webber and snatched the win. We all saw the tension between them in the cool-down room, but what we didn't catch was the behind-the-scenes clash they had with the team that day. And let me tell you, since then, their teammate relationship was toast. Number 13, 1975 Monaco GP. Another one who never held back was James Hunt. A collision with Patrick Depailler towards the end of the 1975 Monaco Grand Prix knocked him out of the race. Now, instead of just peacing out, Hunt stuck around by his car, waiting for the next lap of the Frenchman to give him a piece of his mind. All this drama was going down while the marshals were hustling to get the car and driver off the track. But get this, a poor marshal just trying to do his job got smacked by Hunt. And just to add some spice, Hunt later flipped the finger to Depailler when he rolled by again. Talk about a show. Number 12, 2015 US GP. Another one who didn't hesitate to pull the trigger was Lewis Hamilton after the 2015 United States Grand Prix, coming in at number 12. The Brit clinched his third title over his teammate Nico Rosberg with 3 races to go, all thanks to a bit of a dirty move in the first corner that rubbed the German the wrong way. Now, after the race in the cool-down room, Hamilton slapped on his winner's cap and tossed the second-place cap to Rosberg, who shot him a killer look as he handed it back. Now, that's what you call a dynamic duo, right? Number 11, 2006 Monaco GP. Now at the 11th spot, we've got a real head-scratcher, the Raskas Gate. So, Michael Schumacher nailed a fastest lap during the qualifying for the 2006 Monaco Grand Prix. But guess what? He went wide at the Raskas corner, parked his Ferrari there, and bam, that's the end of the qualifying, shutting the door on everyone else's shot at pole position. The FIA wasn't messing around. They sent him packing to the back of the grid for Sunday's race. But Schumacher kept saying it was just a mistake. Years later, his teammate Felipe Massa spilled the beans, revealing that Schumacher had this master plan all cooked up even before the qualifying session. Number 10, 1997 European GP. Diving into the top 10, here's another sneaky move from Schumacher. He crashed into Jacques Villeneuve during the 1997 European Grand Prix while they were in the middle of a championship showdown. When the Canadian tried to pass the German towards the end of the race, Schumacher closed the door and ended up in the gravel. But here's the kicker. Villeneuve kept going, grabbed a podium, and secured the title. Schumacher's little trick didn't fly under the radar, and the FIA kicked him out of the championship. A real disaster. Number 9, 2017 Azerbaijan GP. At number 9, we have Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton in the spotlight during the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Backing up the pack a little bit and he went into it.
After a safety car stint, Hamilton, who was leading, slammed the brakes to slow down the pack. Vettel, caught off guard, ended up tapping him from behind, damaging his own front wing.
There's Sebastian Vettel, and he's saying to Hamilton, "What did you do?"
Pissed off about it, Vettel pulled up beside Hamilton and deliberately bumped into him. Surprisingly though, no harm done to either. Man, was he fuming. Number 8, 2007 Hungarian GP. Two guys who couldn't stand each other were Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton when they were together at McLaren in 2007. At number 8, one of their epic clashes went down during the qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So Hamilton, not giving a hoot about team rules, didn't give Alonso an extra lap. Alonso, pretty ticked off, took matters into his own hands. Right before the final attempt, he parked it in the pit for a few seconds while Hamilton waited behind. Crafty move. Didn't leave Hamilton enough time for his lap. And guess what? Alonso grabbed the pole. But internally, the team was just a complete mess. Number 7, 1994 Australian GP. At number 7, we have a very spicy title showdown. Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill were going head-to-head for the 1994 championship at the Urban Circuit of Adelaide. In the race, after Schumacher went off track, Hill caught up, and the desperate German, not keen on being overtaken, closed the door. He went airborne with 2 wheels and ended up hitting the wall. Hill also retired due to the contact, and guess what? Schumacher walked away with the championship in a move that still gets a ton of criticism even today. Number 6. 1982 German GP. Next on the list at number 6 we have the always controversial Nelson Piquet. Picture this, it's the 1982 German Grand Prix and he is leading, but in a tight chicane he smashes into Eliseo Salazar's lapped car and bam, both out of the race. Now, here's when it gets spicy. Impulsive Piquet hops out of his ride and goes straight at Salazar, throwing punches and kicks like it's a street brawl, while the Chilean just stands there looking confused. They could have started a full-blown boxing match right on the track. Number 5. 1993 Japanese GP. And at number 5, another guy itching for a fight was Ayrton Senna at the 1993 Brazilian Grand Prix. After winning the race, the Brazilian went after the rookie Eddie Irvine, who in the race tried to unlap himself from Senna twice, coming dangerously close to making contact. Senna claimed that Irvine's moves cost him between 15 and 20 seconds with risky maneuvers, so they had a tense chat, with the Brazilian eventually throwing a punch at Irvine, who went straight to the ground. Do you think it was justified? Number 4. 2018 Brazilian GP. Now at number 4, we've got more drama between race leaders and backmarkers. Check this out. During the 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix, lapped Esteban Ocon tried to unlap himself from the leader Max Verstappen, and bam, they end up crashing. Verstappen lost the lead and finished second, while Ocon received a penalty. But the Dutchman wasn't having it. He went straight for Ocon afterward, pushing him around as Ocon tried to explain himself. This was another great post-race show. Number 3. 1998 Belgian GP. Starting the top 3, Schumacher steals the show in this one. He was leading the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, and thanks to the rain making visibility a nightmare, he smashed into David Coulthard, who was a lapped car. Schumacher's car was fried, with only 3 tires left. Now here's where it gets wild. Schumacher, possessed by some kind of demon, stormed into Coulthard's McLaren garage, yelling that he tried to kill him. Thank the racing gods, the Ferrari mechanics stepped in before things got out of hand. Can you imagine what would have gone down otherwise? Number 2. 1989 and 1990 Japanese GP. At number 2, we can't forget the feud between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost in the Japanese Grand Prix of 1989 and 1990, where championship glory was on the line. In 1989, the two collided, knocking Prost out of the race. Senna managed to continue with the help of the stewards, but was later disqualified. So, Prost snagged the title in 89. Fast forward to the next year and it's deja vu. This time around, in the first corner, Senna, still fuming from the previous year, didn't back off against Prost. Boom, they both end up kissing the wall. That move made Senna the champ, although he didn't seem all that proud of what went down. Number 1. 2008 Singapore GP. As for the most unsportsmanlike moment at number 1, we have the wild 2008 Singapore Grand Prix and the consequent Crashgate episode. Fernando Alonso, driving for Renault, was the only driver on the grid who had made an early pit stop. That's when his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed into the barriers, causing a safety car that sent Alonso to the lead while the rest of the pack made their pit stops. Alonso eventually won the race, all cool, but here's the kicker. When Piquet left Renault the next year, he spilled the beans. Turns out he was following team orders to crash on purpose. Renault got hit with conspiracy charges, and the big shots Flavio Briatore and Pat Simmons got slammed with some serious penalties. This show had never been seen before. In the end, the truth came to light. And if you want to know the scary truth about Max Verstappen nobody's noticing, hit that click right here. Just do it, man.